Here we go. It says we're on 15th of March 2020, 23:34, 234. Hey up. We're here, Kev. We've landed.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Planet Indie. Hope everybody's alright. Had a good weekend. Is your weekend going to be extended? Are you working? Playing? Locked away? Not allowed to go anywhere? Under armed guard? Who knows? Big love to you all. Thanks for joining us.
Obviously, it's a weird one. We're a bit late. It is 11:30 on the Sunday, so
Jesus.
yeah, we had quite a stint on the .com and give them a full hour with the updates and data and links, so we can do the same here and see if there's any initiates available awake. Go on, what you got something to say? Go on, bro.
Oh, I've just realised the sort of time and how it flies past. Oh yeah, we just have a quick break in between the two, but yeah, we give them just over an hour. Did another long goodbye over there between us, didn't we?
We're getting better. They're getting shorter.
Oh my god! But yeah, we managed to pull each other up and ourselves up at the same time. Yeah, it's quite funny. But yeah, there's an hour over there, wasn't there? Plus of course, our warm-up chat.
Echo.
That adds a week onto anything. Anyway, right, okay, let me see what's happening in the room. I can't see anybody in there at the moment. But what I am going to do is go back there and I'm going to share.
I'm going to put some links in, relevant links. The title then, there are three classes of man, of consciousness, of mind. Those who do not see, those that see when they are shown. And I think it said those that see. I'm testing myself now, I can't see the thumbnail anymore. I'm loaded up in the chat room. So I've removed the vowels, as in the type of text you would find in the ancient writings, language. DVD, the vowels A, E, I, O and U. So A and I for David removed, E and I for Kevin removed, and then COVID, I and O removed from that. So you've got DVD, KVN, CVD. That's just for me to shorten it and to fit it all in. And I thought I'll give you a COVID style themed Corona update chat. I'm going to put some links in the room for media hype from the Daily Fail, as Kevin mentioned on the .com, and then I've got some other links for you may find of interest. The advisory council to the government at the minute, Cobra, has got a website that I'm going to put a link up for you regarding the advisory services. Initially, I think it was established, if I'm right, under David Cameron's leadership of the government then, and is still now advising Cobra, the UKG, and yes, indeed. So I'll get the links put in. We'll see who comes into the room, and then we've got some chill out music in the background, copyright free, to just keep us anchored. So we'll see what go on, Kev.
Indeed, brethren. Yeah, I like that title.
I always sometimes at this I struggle. Sometimes they just come to me, but yeah, thanks. Let's get some
CVD. It sounds like a new strain of an STD, doesn't it? Cvd19.
The behavioural
Cock rot venereal disease.
The behavioural insights team is the next link that I'm going to give you a link to. This is what I've just mentioned, so I'll keep it relevant right at the front, and then
they were at the .com, weren't they, as well? Didn't you put them up there?
Yeah, I'll put them up there as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to have a glance at those.
That's the strategy. That's the strategy team. BI. All right.
That's No, that's just another group with their hands in the wallets. That's what that is.
Herd immunity.
Private company.
I would just like to say that there's two surprisingly alarming things to my mind that I've heard when I've looked at news channels, interviews, world leading doctors, pathologists, and I've been doing some research, as I'm sure many of the scribes and masters, initiates, procreators have done. And what two things? Number one, doctor professes that it can this virus can this alleged virus can incubate in man for up to 25 days before you start displaying signs and afflictions of an infection. So man can walk around for nearly a month in some cases without being displaying or being affected with your biorhythms and your health. So I thought, what kind of a invading agent? They are agents in my view, not in trust as such, but they've got a purpose. They created, they're here for whatever reason, and they infect us, these agents. And I just thought, why would it take so long? What is it doing? Is it like when we go skiing in France and the Alps and we have to acclimatise? Is that what it's doing? Is it getting warm and it's comfy before it starts setting up shop? That number one, if you can help me out with that, initiates and indiglows, and number two, where the question was asked about this herd immunity and the news getting hold of the wrong end of the advisory council on an international basis, and there was a correction of it's not herd immunity, it's the control, contain, delay, and all of these special things that they're doing to stop the peak now and getting it when they've got enough ventilators. And they explained that herd immunity is a thing that happens in life, and there's an immunity that they want to obtain at a certain time, and that's why they're doing these scientific councils. And Whitty and other lad, scientific chief medical advisor there, I forget his name. They've said with the buy shop, the buy bull, the buy advisory council to the snake of cobra. Wow, if you can see, nice one. And they've said that this is the best desired tactic. The international community is raising questions, and then my bottom line to this is the question was put: what is the immunity relationship with infected, recovered man? How is it going? And they're like, we can't answer that. He's like, is there an immunity level that can be obtained? And a few interviews have said we cannot answer whether there is an assured human pathogen immunity once you've fully recovered, or if you become reinfected again. So there's not much clarity there on them 2 points from me, because they disturb me, and that's why I'm bringing it to you to help have a chat with brother Kev. Any of your comments and questions and feedbacks? Yeah, we want tonight.
Can I jump in before
please.
the brain screws up? Right. So, as we all basically know now, if you ever have a cold or the flu, you've had coronavirus. So, if we can't even control common cold, there's no cure for that. Have a think about it, really. Is there any possibility, if they can't do the common cold, which is ultimately the same virus, or certainly family of, I don't know.
Yeah, it
don't all add up. That's all I've really got to say about it. It does not all add up to me.
Not since.
And I'm a high risk, according to them, of course, because of my lungs and heart.
Yeah, pre-existing medicals is what's taking man's down here. There's a jump in the spike of deaths in the UK. I'm about to post a link in from a headline that's coming out in the Daily Mail now, the Daily Mail, on Britain's coronavirus crisis could last until spring 2021, with 8 million people, or 15% of the population, hospitalised. Secret NHS briefing reveals as death toll leaps 14 in a day to 35. And here's the link.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that I've got there. So the media jumping on it and using it to sell and to hype and to to what they usually do.
Well,
They've a key pot role to play, and instead of keeping us calm and directed and united and providing a platform, an instrument for helpful advice, they orchestrate with the paparazzi of the sea. This is the sea to war. That you know, off you go, Kev.
little
Sorry.
sentences to provoke and
Yeah, headlines.
get you worried. These numbers are nothing. I've gone up to 34. Right, come on then. Let's have some ages. Was there, underlying medical stuff, because nobody's getting this sort of info. And if there's X amount that have been tested, somebody should start knowing somebody it's happened to, and that doesn't seem to be happening. Nobody actually knows anybody, sort of thing.
Well, if
I
you
don't
stay,
know.
well, you won't do if you're staying at home and you're self isolating. There's no
Well, don't
testing.
forget.
There's no testing. There's no confirmation. There's no doctor. There's no GP. There's no medicine. It's just sit at home, hope for the best, and get you sent back in as soon as you can. All right,
So
nice
this
one.
is for me, this is the best time when everybody has to isolate, or even if they shut everybody down for a few weeks, go, no, you've all got to stay at home. That would be the best time for me to go out, because I already self-isolate.
Yeah, well, you would.
So I can escape while everybody else is locked in.
Yeah, but then if there's like 10 or 100,000 mans that think like what you do, then yeah, you're right, but you're wrong in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, we won't all gather in one place and have a rave.
I know. I'm just saying that it does. There are just the further points of this
I'm just
scare.
being a knob.
The further point of this scaremongering is it also says about this document that the Daily Fail are saying is it's about information and perspective, expectations in this current situation from the health chiefs, and they expect the virus to last for another
Shocking.
12 months. It says that around 80% of the population, I presume this is UK, I don't, you'll find out tomorrow, where 80% of the population are expected to be infected. The document drawn up in recent days by Public Health England, Nick Matthews, who had underlying health conditions, died in Bristol yesterday, so RIP to the Matthews clan, family, estate. That's just, a bullet point. I didn't realise what I was reading till I read it. I thought it was going to be Nick Matthews as implemented. So, yeah, that was quite a shock. UK coronavirus fatalities increased by 14 overnight. Total death 35. RIP to that fam collectively. Coronavirus symptoms, what are they, and should you see a doctor? Well, do doctors want to see you? Is there now new procedures that we're not aware of that
They'll be stopping you going to surgery. There'll be phone call appointments and all that. That's what will be going on. I'm telling you, it's happening down here.
Yeah, so we can't, we can't see who, what, why, where, and when. All we can see is what we're being told. If we're not having the tests, and other international families, communities, countries, etc., are doing these words lockdown, military terminologies coming into play. I resisted using lockdown, shutdown, and all this, types of terminology, but they are shutting down and isolating and protecting the youth, the family, the school. We've got stark contrast with Southern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, and then Northern Ireland following the Westminster. But we've got borders there that are to be respected, but also to be recognised that there's a potential of harm to be happening. So they're trying to work out a soft, there's many things that are being dictated to, and we got to be careful here. We're not giving legal advice, medical advice. We're having a chat, and we're just giving you some links and some thoughts and feelings, and we want yours, if that's okay. Yeah.
Superb. Good.
We have got, the Public Health England's preparedness and response team. That's if you look in the link, that's the www.bi bi.team. So if anybody's on the replay and you can't see it or get to that link, you type in 3ws.bi bravo indigo dot team and press enter, and you'll go straight to the site. Alison, it's total horse manure. Oh wow,
Hi,
thank you.
Alison. Yeah,
Sam,
some
go on.
some
Son.
underneath that says America just printed $1.2 trillion for the NWO. And caused this. Not, yeah, it's nice, isn't it? They go, oh, let's sling in 1.2 trillion because the interest we're going to be raking off of that. Oh my God, it's sickening, isn't it? Really? Of course, they put 1.2 trillion in. So would I if I
Yeah,
were them.
you've got the national debt. You see what's happening is that's the next 100, 1,000 generations of
Yeah,
man born into, hello,
yeah,
welcome, here's your ticket for debt. What? I've just arrived. Yes, I know, but here's your debt, here's your ticket. Go there, registration, please. In fact, it'll be here's your chip. You're chipped. They'll be coming out chipped and whatever if we don't get this right, and they'll be with the public debt for persons in the constitution attached. So. It's yeah, it's the systems and systems. It's like the story when I read the chaos and order with the nun and Amun Ra and etc. There's layers and it's like an onion. I was talking with Kev privately saying it'll be the PCN or the legal civil controversy that brings you to the onion itself, the outer onion, or anything with
yeah,
layers, and then you'll deal with the legal claims upon your person and the controversies at hand, and then you'll think, wow, and then you start digging in the layers of the onion, and you find different law levels and jurisdictions and things, etymology and what we've brought and law, science merging, churches, courts. You get to the heart of the onion, and there are stories, interpretations within what we find. They often have layers like that onion too, where you scratch the surface and you can have parables, comparables, So that was interesting chat, Kev. And thank
indeed.
you. Yeah, thank you for the one for that other comment. I'm going to look at the room and just catch up then while we're here and see what's being said.
Yeah, see, Quinn, Graham, Addison, Mussolini. That's what I see in there.
When Quinn says here, I'm thinking Ireland, but is he saying is he in the Republic of, or
Who,
is it,
Quinn?
yeah, whereabouts is he there? He said I forget
I
where he
thought
is.
Quinn was in Scotland.
Is it Scotland? Oh wow, all right then. Thank God, I'm glad I
I could
asked.
be wrong. Don't quote me.
Yeah, roughly.
I
Where is
thought
he?
Quinn was Scotland. And
Gr-
Jerry's Ireland.
yeah, I know Jerry is. Yeah, I know. I've got that.
You know? You know?
Graham, brother Graham's having a joke at McDonald's, and the theme tune there, not corporate advertising, but we know not to eat there because it generally is bad. So we don't mind mentioning that because I think we've all managed to boycott that food chain now. So well done to us. Pink slime or no pink slime.
I don't know why you're being slam.
We have had text from the health centre reading if you have a cough, fever, or feeling unwell, don't come to the practice.
Don't
Phone the
come,
NHS.
yeah.
Look at this. So it's wow, yeah, that's incredible. That's where your tax dollars and pennies go up. Pennies are pounds. Equity promises.
Yeah, nothing's. Promises, promises, promises.
Debts. Americans put national debt 26 trillion. I know
Oh,
they did a 290 billion boost into the bank economy, and they at the same time did a 12 that Monday when the um, Wall Street stock markets Nasdaq FTSE opened up 8% down. They then also put 12 million into UK economy markets, and I just thought, oh, look at it, the numbers are just like I pictured a roulette machine or a machine at the casino with the the arm, the bandit that you pull and you try to get the three cherries or whatever, and I just saw the debt like brrr, spinning. Don't forget bonds and stuff like that are depleting, and you've got the valuation exchange, corporate mergers, panic selling of Bitcoin. Those that aren't in it for the long haul. I'm not in it. I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying that there's many layers of the onion shifting and moving like the earth on the crust of a mantle on the lava. We've got these layers underneath that are also simultaneously like a gyroscope intertwining, and I'm not sure where any of it's going to end up.
Albert's your boy for that.
Do you like onions?
Yeah, loves them.
You were right.
Trades in them.
Quinn is up north in Scotland. Look.
Yeah.
We have such things now as this, world's strongest antibiotic claimed by brother Dr. Robert of the Beck's clan, the silver water. We have the oils and tinctures and base, oils that we've come to find out about. We have this alleged water of life, the video that YouTube deleted from my account here that I manage for as Indiglo, Keshe, one cup, one life. I've shared that video with the fam on WhatsApp, and I put it on Facebook in the SPL's trust there to see if I don't know if it's still up there, but we've got a lot of potential options. I did ask on the last video, find out please, help me work out what they're spraying as a decontaminant liquid chemical over there in Asia, because we've got reports that it could be something on the atomic alchemical way there, so we can we've had claims that Keshe is helping out in China, and he seems to be a bit political and controversial at the minute, so yeah, that's some food for thought there. We've got a lot of own symptoms and remedies as well. I've heard Anne Marie told me that there was a report saying ibuprofen is some country newly infected, and an admittance of 5 to 15. I know it's a big difference, but I can't remember what she said. But at least 5 or 15 went into A&E, and they'd all got worse and straight into intensive care, ventilator situation, that kind of bad, a lot of them at once. And what had happened was they'd all had ibuprofen. So again, no medical or legal advice here, but if we can find out or watch that, this ibuprofen, I don't know if the public health are giving, or the World Health Organization or China are giving out, things that would help and alleviate, and things that would speed up and aggravate the symptoms. So do you know what I mean? Because there's been work and studies already done with those hundreds and thousands that are on that list worldwide of infected, recovered. And I'd like to know, have you heard or seen, like, because Anne-Marie got it from a couple of Facebook groups, the news was that it was to do with ibuprofen, and that's not my news. I've not got any substance other than the news media circus, so it's not substantiated in any form, but it is something that I wanted to echo, so there may be certain elements that will help, whatever, and there might not be. Or there might be certain chemicals, who knows? I'm not here to give you that. I'm just here to echo and repeat, and to see what you lot are saying. You lot.
Jerry's comment. Hi, Jerry. I've just seen you.
Is he still alive? Hey up, G-Man.
He said, Ireland, army on the streets from tomorrow.
Fucking what? Bejesus.
That's what he's saying.
Let me see, let's get in the room.
Mind your language, you Ken.
It's you.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. I break everybody in the end. Not swearing, they're like exclamation marks.
Right.
Ibuprofen, let me tell you, mate, when I did a 2-week residential at St Thomas's, it's dead opposite the Houses of Parliament, other side of the river, and I was resident there for 2 weeks before I had this spinal neuromodulator thing, and we used to do 2 days a week on different drugs and etc. And ibuprofen and all that, mate. Oh my God, they're one of the worst, one of the biggest killers of people, actually, in England certainly.
Can I say that Sadhguru and other self-scholars there of India, Dr. Sebi is number 2 or equal to Guru. And these two, they teach you that the Indian curcumin, I might not get all this right, but the herbs and the types there, which are good for, if you are Asian food based diet standard, then you'll have built up a tolerance to these peppers and what is it, antioxidants that are rich in the lady fingers. What's that meal now? I had one with a spicy green lady fingers. It were Jamaican more than Indian, but the ones with the meals that contain the many spices and herbs and that, if you don't regularly eat them, now is it they naturally antioxidant rich, immune
Yeah,
boosting. This stinky, horrible, smelly, horrible. I've got some friends that think it's stinky,
like
horrible
turmerics.
food. To be fair, foreign, mucky, foreign food, but it's life saving. In some ways, you can even get the if you don't like the curries and meals and certain spicy, orientated cuisines, and you can just look at the extracts like the tinctures, the oils, the oregano, the C60. That's not so much spices, but etc. You can buy capsules, tablets, supplements. Maybe not the import now because of the commercial shutdown, but Matthew in Sheffield, he was on about he'll be able to manage on, and he knows about the fruits of the forest and the jungle is equivalent here, our forests and nettles and things that you can look upon in harsher times, apocalyptic maybe, or times of empty supermarkets and in denial of access to, then you'd make do, those that live off the land, etc. So I don't know what all of the spices and herbs. We have the superfoods that are called ginger, garlic, honey, and so forth. So
Yeah,
again, we can self medicate. This is coming back to the herbalist, the shamans, the village man would have the wisdom to mix up the fact that we've got not THC, that we've got the DMT, 3 letter thing is to us just do me head in at night. Yeah, the DMT and how they've found that and the mixing of. So, these are all Hermeticism, Hippocrates, ancient ways. So you can choose how you treat and remedy, and nature often, which is why we have Terminator seeds and genetically modified, so they can then CRISPR the hell out of it and make it look like a fresh, juicy whatever. But really, it's a special corporative Monsanto designed label, patented, fruit, and it's owned.
it's all
What?
you'll be able to grow. It's all the soil. It's all you'll be able to grow. It's designed to grow in the soil. That's all going to be fucked because of the spraying.
Aluminium,
Thank you.
and how can you go out there on a commercial market and sell aluminium resistant seeds when this aluminium high content in the soil that's been found, and the changing of the changing of the alkalinity and the ionization, which is to do with the root system and the uptake and the food and the nutrient growers out there, about potassium, nitrosis,
Yeah.
alkalinity, and things like that, different stages and times. So you're telling me that a major seed manufacturing distribution company such as potato, it rhymes with that one, probably Monsanto, and yeah, they've seen the future and they've already got on the shelf, just as the soil turns highly acidic, toxic, and alkaline, these seeds that will grow in that soil. But this has only just happened. It's just like BBC reporting a building falling down before it fell down. You kind of done, the same trick there, and
It was, yeah, behind her, wasn't it? The building she's saying had just fallen down was behind her.
we see those with the eyes to see. So it's just madness.
Yeah.
The foods and the minerals and the plastics, the preservatives, the mercuries, the poisons. Came on. Nice to see you. To see you, nice. He says
Yeah,
lemon and
evening.
coconut juice. Jerry's agreeing. Ibuprofen can seem to make people worse. Good words.
S is in the house, I do believe, from the other side of the world.
Dr. Sebi was allegedly murdered because he cured people. So I like your passion. I'm not having a go at you. I'm just helping you out. But that claim's a bold claim, and it does. There are rumours saying that he had an untimely demise, and I back you up with that 100%. Yeah, but I got to be careful
Yeah,
what words come out my
I
mouth.
agree.
Yeah, I've got the liability of it. You've got your liability, but I have as a
Yeah.
channel. Sorry.
Certainly suspicious. Seems to happen to a lot of people that seem to have breakthroughs, doesn't it? I wonder why.
Get ready for the cashless society. Agreed. Yes, yes.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
we
Right,
see it.
got to take all the money out of circulation because of this deadly common cold bug. Oh, look. Oh, we think it's much better without it.
Yeah, tracking, and also they'll be wanting to chip, track, trace. Oh, it's for your own good. Then we won't have another outbreak because we'll know where subject A is at all time. What do you mean? Yeah, I can see. You know, we could do that, and we could have
Don't need to chip
control.
me, mate. I'm always here.
Yeah, the levels of protection that they offer are often backwards. We could all just immune ourselves and put the
Don't
technology.
require their services. Thank you.
Let's look at Jerry's comment there. Take a note of that. Silver, tincture, lemons,
Cayenne, yeah.
buds, birds, straubs.
Get it down. Fair play, Jerry.
Ionisation is. I was talking with Brother Lyndon when we get him on next week. He'll talk to you about the ionising of the stuff of fruit, roots, soil. Yeah, interesting. The moon growing, people that grow at night, the moon, the phases, the stages of the moon, and there is a lot to be said that ancient civilization, when it started agriculture, used to base it on the lunar cycles and go and plant on a full moon, and the systems of it's just incredible. The angelic, not the advanced, angelic particle matrix have touched upon it in one of their videos at some point. I do believe the waning moon and the stages and the phases and the lunar, it's literally another world. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It really is.
Before it's all lost, but no, but that makes sense in a lot of respects. It's like some seeds you want to put them in the fridge before you put, like called striation. Without that period of cold to go, oh right, I've fallen off. It's winter. They won't do anything until you give them that process. Quite remarkable, really. It's amazing nature.
That's it. There's often, as we found with Occam's razor and the remedies in law, the law remedies, we've had presented to us some immensely complex and hundreds of pages of documents and public sector legislative European covenants, governance, human rights, and canons and codes and pages of UCC, and then we come down to it. It's a triangle with 3 points: a trustee, a beneficiary, a settlor, and it's bish bash bosh, mate. It can be done by verbal, on a bit of paper, on value paper, without a court and without thousands and hundreds and all of that. So much like all the remedies in life. When we say remedy, the remedy for your injury in law, at law, and the remedy for your injury to man in the natural man flesh and blood form is a totally different occurrence. So you choose your own remedy. You choose it. It's tailored to suit, isn't it? Kev?
Yep. And always remember, pick your battles. It won't be. It's not easy with these entities, I'm afraid. You've got to be good.
We're getting there. We're getting better.
Understand. Yeah, but I'm just saying, in my experience, and when I've been with other people, as you know, at different situations.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
I like it.
$12. I'm not eager to go yet, but I'm just saying that's the 12 bells ringing. Bong.
Okay.
clock watch. I'm not going in. I'm off school tomorrow, and I'm staying at home. And I've said
Yeah, is everybody?
wanted Yanka to stay at home, but Mum said she's going to go in and see what happens. And I'm a bit worried, to be honest. Truthfully, I want her to stay at home. She's not my blood daughter, but she's my adopted. As good as under God and Creator. And I just said, "Oh, Anne-Marie, you should stay off. Yanka should stay off, and we'll see what happens this week. Maybe it's early, but if we get this thing, how long does it take to recover? If we can recover, because I don't know that we can." And she's like, a month or so, if that. I'm like, so if you take 3 weeks off and then it fades out after them 3 weeks, then you've had 3 weeks off. Everybody's losing money. Everybody's gonna not benefit from this, but at least we stay healthy and we have time as a family and we do stuff. Wow, yeah, Italy's going out on the
Look
back
at the
verandas
fuss.
singing Ciao Bello, Figo. You've seen them all
Yeah,
interacting like it's a massive karaoke. Ciao Italy, amazing. Spain, same, be doing similar, I imagine. So we'll make the best of it no matter what. But I'm now a man with a rule of thumb, which is not always a rule that I've had, and that is prevention is better than cure. I thank you. Yeah, sorry.
I think as they say, not whatever it is, 90% of the cases are mild. You probably look at something like 4 to 6 days, and it's going to be. I'm telling you, well, as I say, it's just odd. There's no age. So I'm not expecting people's names to come out, but let's get some ideas of age, underlying conditions with all these supposed numbers. There's not enough. Oh, so many extra died today. Really? Who were they then? What? Where?
We have 5,000 ventilators. This is the next scare tactics the media's jumped on, and that Germany's got so many thousand ventilators. And if 80% and so many mans are ill, then other than space, what is the next problem that they're assigned with? And it's 5,000 ventilators in the whole of the UK. They've said on the news today, and that they've appealed the government and the sector, public health. Matt Hancock and co have all said, if anybody makes ventilators, we'll buy them all. Can we have some, please? So that was a bit alarming, but we're
That's the
not.
price of them gone through the roof, don't it?
Yeah, like toilet roll and gloves and
Yeah.
hand wash. But it's not for us to criticise. All I'm saying is that was just something I picked up upon, and I thought, really, in this day and age, the government doesn't have the capability, not even to set up, not to even commandeer. In times of war, they conscript and force you. They have done, forced man, and they've made stuff happen overnight. But when it's stuff like this, it's all very, maybe in August we'll be ready. So we'll delay it. And it's like, wow, okay, then that will really annoy everybody and put everybody in jeopardy and harm and whatnot. So,
Yeah, while they all slope off the bunkers, probably. Sorry.
the
Take a deep
purge.
breath. Take a deep breath, Kevin.
No, after all, but
It's Sunday night. People have maybe just come back from church. Well, not this time of night, but don't spoil it with your potty mouth, Kevin.
it's all good, brother. You speak at ease there, soldier. Speak at ease. Let's read some comments again. I lost touch. Taking all the promises out of the bank, so yeah, it's in preparation of. We did. They've done well there.
Fair play if you managed to do that.
Jerry, I agree with his comment there. I've said about having a debt amnesty and going to the estates, and let's get the Treasury Direct out and access to the time is ours, no more morphing or usurping from the same Samuel snake, same old. Oh, wow! I just realised. I did check that this alleged bank account was still available for claiming that I once purported, and when I was re-looking at the account that I added that I believed was one of the Treasury Direct beneficiary accounts that's in the public that I want to move to the private and be the actual real beneficiary of. I just thought, I'll open some tabs up, and I'm going to be careful what I say here, but I opened up some tabs and I put up a bank account and sort code checker tab that was validated.com, which is not illegal. They're out there. You can use a website to check and validate a bank account and sort code somebody gives you. There's valid reasons for doing so. So then I went back on the other tab and I put in Royal Bank of Scotland, Sheffield, and I wanted to locate the one that I previously had located and forgotten about, and the file's somewhere in my archive. So I wanted to test my dexterity and memory, and I thought, let's just try something. So I did a search on the bank in Sheffield, and I found the one in Church Street that I found before, and I wanted to know the sort code of that Royal Bank of Scotland in Church Street, Sheffield, and I obtained that sort code. And then I thought, I already know my 8-digit number because it involves the 6 numbers from your national insurance and the year that you turn 16. So for me, I put in 94 from 1994 at the beginning and the 6 numbers from the NI, which gives you the 8-digit account number, one of many, but the main primary one to do with. And then I got the 6-digit sort code from the Church Street Royal Bank of Scotland, and I went over to the bank account online legal.com checker, and I put in the sort code and I put in the 8-digit account number and I pressed enter, and it said tick green. I'm like, bum shanker. That's how I found it again, everyone. 5 minutes, little search. I'm not saying I've got that confirmed, but I have added that account previously to PayPal and confirmed it. So in these dark times of austerity and no money and whatnot, I'm going to mention to the Exchequer that I'd like him to confirm or deny that this bank is in fact in the name of my legal person and the estate of. And if it is, I'm going to authorise him to let me use it. And if he denies me or says otherwise, then I would like to see the proof of that. I'll also do a data subject access request to eBay now and associated PayPal, even not eBay, scratch that, PayPal, and I'll say on these, last couple of years I did this and I made some transactions. Let's have that data, and I'll get everything as much as I can. And like I say, this year it will be the last year for a great many reasons, and for all on many levels. So
Yeah,
we're having it,
yeah.
Kev, aren't we?
Disclose all of it.
We're
Yeah,
having it, bruv, aren't we?
and then we can have then we should be able to see where requests came from. That or it will be obviously removed, but that's exactly what you got to do. But yeah, that could be interesting. Oh, there's loads going on. Oh, it's exciting. Now there is loads of bits and pieces going on. As I say, I think the assessment thing is pretty much sorted. And I think they're going to have to, obviously, let's see what happens, because I don't think at the moment you should have to go anywhere where there's going to be people sitting around. Absolutely not. Just on those grounds at the moment, if you even you wanted to buy yourself I think that's valid enough.
Yeah, well, look at the rest of the international community and family. The common unity of putting spaces and barriers and limiting how many go into, outlets for distribution of food and health, and everything's going to actually change for a while. We need to know how to decontaminate outside, because it's kind of like the fallout from a nuclear bomb, but obviously it's bacterial and invisible. But the same thing, if there was what would you call it, a residue of contaminant, carcinogenic, something, potential death, we need to know how to clean that. So do you think that the establishment, enterprise, corporation, patenting and whatever with the control want us to know how to effectively kill this, like we've seen with all of the Rockefeller Medical, and I'll speak for the Rockefeller Medical Institution of councils and arbitration. We've seen that these military wards of the state, the emergency, they don't actually quite give us what's the most beneficial. And I'll back that up with testimonies of doctors that have resigned, saying that that the cancer treatment is only 5% effective. and it's 95% ineffective. So what the hell are we still doing promoting it? Hello, yeah.
I
So
mean, like, yeah, it's bullshit.
yeah.
What they use still, it's absolute bollocks. But it's big money, huge money.
So
See their faces.
along them lines, they're not going to release publicly knowledgeable. They're going to release things like the Daily Fail and the Guardianship rag paparazzi. They're going to give you the scary stuff, and But if they ever found out the cure, why doesn't the newspaper ever come out with something? Like, I don't think there's ever been one headline that has been in a positive way. Where, oh, they're good at getting leaks and information, but why have they never got a leak or information that's benefit? It's always, you see, the partnership that they have and their role in the orchestration of your mind, anxiety, overall well-being, self-esteem, safety, security. And it really annoys me, because if I do that, and Kev does that, then that's a crime. But when these lot do it, it's just business. It's just
They get
business.
a
Sorry,
license.
sorry.
They get sold a license.
No.
Fuckers.
Yeah, false news, fake news. They're building up. They should take emotion out of it for once and just give the the basic facts. Would be nice, as we try to stick to. But we're not in it for business. So your sources do need to be validated and checked. But safety and cleanliness, hygiene is a high priority. I'll come on in the week and show you the lemon, silver water, and thingy drink that I make. You've got cider apple vinegar, yes, Farmer Stephen and Co. that you've been saying. You've got your alkalinity, and then other stuff that we use as well. So I am going to make the cup of life at some point, hopefully soon. And yeah, Anders has been busy giving us some links and info that I'm going to share with you all, and yeah, we'll see what go on.
Yeah, I want to have a little go with some of that Gans. Interested in that. Just after what you said, with your old war wounds clearing up.
Backache, yeah, the dull, 40 years of age and falling off cliffs, having, horses tip you over, rolling horses squashing you, falling off cliffs. I've got a fair few ailments and aches on wrists and backs and bones. And
Is that when you were a rodeo star, was it, Dave?
yippee-ki-yay, yeah, back in the wild days. And now as a mature, man, if you like, I can feel them in mid Tuesday, Wednesday of the week, then of the strong, and wearing the gams round the neck and on the wrist is really, I don't know, accelerated the healing of it, but not healing as in fixing it. As soon as you take it off, it comes back, the pain. They're just bones that ache through arthritic pain. So when you stop work or using it or being active, it heals itself, doesn't it? The pain gets less. When I say heal, that's what I mean. The sensitivity you have around arthritic and sensitive areas with nervous systems as well. They flare up and they die down. So when you get active, they flare up. But to be active and it not flare up is a first for me. And I'm like, yeah, backache and little bits here and there. We need more, yeah, like I say, research. So I've got some time this week, and I've proven that they're not harmful in any way. And I'm confident that what they are what they are said to be.
Your hands still attached. No one's died. Flowers haven't wilted as you walk by, or anything like that, have they?
Mans with babies and families and whatnot, and elderly and sick, this is not just panic buying. This is like the concern of lack of support and failures, gross, massive failures that lead to death, such as Grenfell and certain things that we've seen, Northern Rock and the BCCI and mad cow disease. I've got a list of about 50. Trust me, I'm going to stop here. So we've seen massive failures by the UK cooperative government over the years, centuries, decades. and now man with duties, responsibilities, sick, family, vulnerable, weak, needy, demanding, is providing for himself, and to some extent being a little bit selfish. But that each to their own. There, you can't really blame the ones that are 40, 50 to looking out for the family, and to some extent I dare say these ones that have done that, if you come across someone that needs something, you will also help them out too with your forward planning and abundance compared to others that have nothing. So yeah, we'll get through it together. It will be a time where we have to recognise our family. On the street it would start, this idea, this incentive that I was on about, with a street trustee on every street, and then not so much a legal trust, not so much a trust of England and Wales, but a trust of Anglo-Saxon flesh and blood natural man and the ministry of self. And locking it down as you can with your unalienable creator given rights, as you're finding out. So you can look after and appoint yourself, and let the street know that you're the one to come to should anybody have an issue. And then if you need to contract out and call a private corporation and start to negotiate, then so be it. You can do that knowingly, protected, safely, and under the covenants and governance of a brother, sister, and someone else. And I think that's a good idea, a new way of moving forward. It's not going to work on every street, I know that, but it'll work on 50%, I reckon. Groups, family groups, setting up like messaging groups on media devices. If you can't go and see the elderly, and you've got elderly that's let's do some practical things, pragmatic things, then get them
Yeah,
get
yeah.
them devices that they can chat to you on in family chat groups, so then you're in touch with them. Yeah, you can drop them off something, an old unit of some kind, an old Android phone that we've all got kicking around, and get them on a chat, video chat them, and then you've got that contact with isolate when you're sick and you're in a bad way. If you're isolated, it's often that kills you rather than what's wrong with you. Yeah. What else, Kev? Think of good things, what you've seen or read, and positive things.
Positive things, yes. I was just going down there. Oh my God. Doom and gloom. Well, it is all bullshit. Positive. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's at least a 93% chance you'll live.
Thank you.
I think well, here's some figures I saw earlier. Please feel free to correct me if you've heard differently. But I have heard under 50 fatality rate is 0.03, and 50, it just says 50 and over 3%.
Yeah, and 70 and over, or 60 and over, retired age and over with a pre-existing condition seems to be like 70% fatality rate, to be fair.
So what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
if they brought it down to 50 upwards, they must have had somebody in the 50s. But as I say, I'd like to hear about underlying conditions. There's a lot of COPDs around, a lot, so's asthma, so's heart, all the same things that normally kill people around that age with the flu every year, but on a much bigger scale on the flu.
No, let's stop everything. We got Irish in the house, Gale Force of the 81
Yeah.
clan.
Good evening.
Let's just stop. No, we're here as a fam and as a clan. You know what? You don't need to have that question answered, number one, Irish, but number two, DVD and KVN on this Cvd19 and the corona is because we have a family out there that's being manipulated and possibly ill-informed, and we have a situation, and in a capacity of, we're here to get your feedback, comments. I don't believe anything that I have no evidence for. Claims are claims. Talk is cheap. If we can get the material facts at hand, let's establish this now. Then we'll be all the more happier. Like evidence of the realm that we live on via digital, non-pixelate, non GIF and manipulated generic images that are all manipulated in a way. Oh, here's a picture of the realm. Oh, where's that from? Oh, it's from John's computer. Oh, right, okay, carry on. So this alleged claims we're all on agreement, and nobody is here to fuel the fire. I've put some interesting links in for you about the fueling of the fire and where we're at. So death is death, I'm afraid, and if they're purporting death, and there's young family members here, the young stars, and the blood is at risk, then we're here to protect that blood in any way, shape, or form. We may uncover something that we didn't see. We may not. The point is, I don't know what's going on. Kev and I are just here to say hello. How are you? What go on? What do you know? This is what we know. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype is what I used to, and still use as a rule of thumb.
It doesn't. It doesn't add up. Sorry. It just, it's no different from any of those things at this time of year. For the age groups, it seems to be affecting.
Yeah.
In fact, it's much less. But as I say, basically, anybody who's ever had a cold or flu has had coronavirus. Simple as that.
Well, there's a 2019 version that's infecting us now.
Of course there is.
No, I'm just saying that's the label of it, COVID-19.
Yeah,
so
I know.
There's been at least another 18 predecessors before that, types and variants. So it's changed and identified in different years, perhaps. Then maybe the same strain. I'm not the expert on this. I'm just saying. So. They are making claims. Like I said, Irish, they're telling us when they're asked, is there an immunity to this? We're talking about herd immunity. They don't know definitively if man will develop an immunity to this. If it is a virus, it could be something else.
Too late. I realise we don't.
The fact that it incubates in the body for up to 25 days is a bit worrying to me as well. So I'm just giving out what I've found out, and I want to know what you've found out, and then we'll just keep an eye on it together. I'm off all week. Me and Kev will keep bulleting you up, with the findings as we do.
Yeah, I will not be venturing outside, just in case.
Oh, we'll have to have an online mix or something, and get together, or
No.
We can get a private one live, but we could perhaps utilise this time to see if we can get some link up going, and that'd be nice.
Yeah. So that should be all sorted out soon. It's going to be nice when I get set up.
Quinn, why let a good virus go?
Hey?
Black humour there, some coughing humour, look. Oh, I love your. This is what I love. That's what we need to do. Is a little bit of tongue in cheek. Thank you, Jerry. The music, we do try. Cayman's a Yorkshire tea man. I do like a Yorkshire brew. Yeah, Irish, you've not offended anyone. It's interactive, it's open, it's with love, and we
Don't get offended in here.
It is a joke. Let's get you in blue as well, just to show the love outside a moderator. All is
get
good.
You all promoted and that.
That's it. The Cayman's blued up now. Escher, let's get you glued up. You're in the fam. You've been here a long time now. Oh, you are. Ah, it's my eyes. It's my tiny eyes at this time. Sorry.
Tiny. How many times have I sent you that video? Have you watched it?
No.
You have, haven't you? It's your favourites. One of your favourites. Look it up on your page.
My wee mother is terrified by all this propaganda. I like the dialect there. I'm sorry for that as well. I'm with you. So I can imagine most older mans are feeling that way. Yeah, they definitely, if they're new to this realm, and it's all peace and love to them in the war, and then they've just started to realise the market's crumbling, assets, intrinsic value, valuations in stocks and shares, benefits, mortgages, repayments, charges, interest, accruement, holidays. Oh, that's the thing I wanted to mention. If any family is stuck abroad because the airlines are unable to facilitate rescue flights, I'd invite you to look at curtailment options within the policies. So I'm having emails sent saying some family are abroad. They haven't done anything wrong. The airline have not put a flight back on for rescue after it being cancelled. There is no way to get back. The airline aren't paying for tickets for family to come back because they've done that wrong. ABTA and ABTOL and all these insurance and protections don't come into play. And all I can find is curtailment, and some will you'll have to. I didn't speak because it's a big issue, but I'm working on it. If anybody's got any ideas, fam, I'm getting asked how we can get back from foreign countries when failures have happened due to legal no at fault party is here, but we have a fault. So it comes down to embassy then at the last port of call. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, but what I mean is we have to contract with and use the person to get out. You see, yeah. I hope
Yeah.
you're not staying there, so this is the next major thing that they've took their eye off the ball.
Go to the British
know.
Embassy and say you demand a ticket is paid for out of your estate to get you home.
David and Kev will tell you how to work out the account for the RBS on Church Street in England for you to. Sorry, I'm such a naughty man. I've had enough.
Always a mischievous little bugger, that David.
We might be dead next week. Who knows? I've got to get
Fucking
some.
right, yeah.
I'm not sure what go on. I'm not trying to scare you, but there's a slim 0.1%. We'll say they could be issues. I'm God's little bar steward. He's the creator has saved me from falling off cliffs, smashing cars, falling down a well, violent escapades, being shot at by Albania. Not because I've got a thing with Albanians, but there was an Albanian issue in Greece that I had, and they tried to end my life. So I've been kept for a reason. I realise this now. I'm not immensely impervious to stuff, but I bounce well.
I had a cheery little thought earlier. So, they lock us all down. They say, right, it's got that bad. Everybody's got to stay home for a couple of weeks. So they know exactly where we all don't go outside. You only do X, Y, Z. And then the mud comes. That's the end of that.
Cast your cares away. Worries for another day. Cast your cares away. Kevin's mud flood. Kev's mud flood.
Go.
You're a legend.
See, that's it. They know where we're all at, right? Turn on the fucking mud. Let's start this lot of bollocks. Let's start again. Some of them are too woke. Fuck that. Let's do them all. Somebody will dig them up in a few hundred years and go, wow, look at all this technology. These dead people. These dead muddy fuckers. Yeah, there you go. We'll be part of the next.
Where was you? Whoa, let's rack it up, rewind. Where was you when you had that thought? Was that a falling asleep thought? Was that just a daydreamy sofa in between whatever thought? Where was you in, eating mushrooms at the time and debating deeply? I'm interested.
No, I just thought it now.
Oh wow, that's brilliant. Thanks. You've downloaded it then. Right.
I told you I'd go off a little tangent. That's quite good. I'll say that. I ran it past. It was edited first. I ran it past the editor for once. Normally I just open the gob.
I've got something weird to tell you now. I'm very, very careful with liquids and drinks, and I'm one of them OCDs that makes sure when I put my cup down, the hot coffees, and as much as value of technology, I love my coffee as well. So I don't want to waste it. I hate spilling drinks. It's a real annoyance to me because I used to do it a lot and I was too hasty in my actions, and I've managed to curtail the giddiness and save a lot of spillages basically, and I've enjoyed the accuracy of my cup to mouth ratio and then cup back to platform ratio, and not knocking it with the mouse, not stretching out my legs and kicking it over because I forgot I put it on the carpet, and then I kick my legs out to, and then you're like, no, hot toe, that can only mean one thing. Good night, Vienna. Our lass is going to skin me. That's a deposit gone on whatever for her, etc. So I've learnt, and I'm very, very happy, and I've had an unblemished record now. Those of you that are clumsy Tauruses like me, you will appreciate the effort, and also note that sometimes things go wrong in like a sequence of days. You're like, hang on a minute, now it's been 3 days and I've spilt something on every day. It's been 5 years and I've had an unblemished record. And in the last 3 days, I have just got annoyed with my clumsiness of liquid. So then I've stopped and I've gone, oh, I see what's going on here. This is one of them universal typey initiative sensey feely games like the numbers. And I went, so liquid is being brought to my attention, and it's spilling abundances of liquids like floods. Kev, you reminded me of it. So just for me to the universe, and you can all overhear.
Hey, Dave, I've got it. So in chaos theory, you got the water hits the ground. There's the mud.
So
you start the mud floods and kill everyone. That's it. That's the code.
You've reminded me of this, and I need just to say to the universe that now I've noticed and I've stopped spilling. This was 2 days ago, and I was like, hang on, I couldn't think. I'm steam fused. David melted down, just like on Terminator, where it goes brrr, system shut down, reboot, and I rebooted because I had too much. And sometimes I don't mind telling you, little old me with the potato head brain here, with the and what I do, I'm like, hang on a minute, that means that the video that YouTube deleted, that was about water, David, and it's gone, and you're annoyed about that, and you wanted to chat, and that could have a potential, and now you've ended up spilling for the first time in eons your unblemished record here. I've got annoyed with myself, let alone Anne-Marie kicking my ass, and Yanka thinking, what's up with him? Has he suddenly lost his dexterity? No, I'm not dying and ill and unable to hold and clench and even coordinate. It was a message, and I think that the water video and Anders coming along, and I'm going to look more into it. But you started it with mud flood and that, and I'll finish it with. And when I had that thought chain and meltdown reboot thingy, I've not spilt anything since. And those of you that appreciate the tiny natural, organic, random ironies that we have, when you're a code reader and stuff, and things like that, then you know the system and you know the language, and if you don't, then it will all seem complete madness to you, and I'll appear like I'm tripping. So sorry about that for you.
Like a weird maths professor in the middle of an equation. What the fuck?
Messages everywhere in different things. You learn to read, and see, like the thumbnail says. There are 3 types of consciousnesses around. 20 to 1, everyone. That's 40 minutes after the last.
I just suddenly thought about matey again. We were talking about earlier today, or early this morning. Made my heart drop again. That's sad. If true, got a feeling. I don't know, like you said.
Listen, family, everybody, in these times, when somebody goes into the private, I firmly believe that a public notice has to go up, and the civil public name has to be entered into the realm in the form of the doctrine of notices and other such things and whatever. I'm not saying this is verbatim accurate. I don't know this for a fact, but it stands to reason that if you at points in the future disappear from the civil action and go civilly inactive, just to put it, from public to private, then I think there would have to be a notice, much like, the ones we've seen pass away, and RIPs too. Some validated, genuine accidents, mortality has happened, and some, I believe, are following the doctrines of notices to say, this man's gone, the public actor is off the stage, the show has ended, and now the remaining. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm beginning to think now. That's all I'll say.
That's not me, mate.
Even celebrities like Murdoch, Rupert falling off the boat, was it? Mac, somebody like that. B Sky B Man, newspaper, fell off a boat, and everyone said no, he didn't.
Robert Maxwell.
There we go, not Murdoch. See, I need help sometimes like that. Robert Maxwell.
It's his daughter, isn't it, who's all tied up with Epstein and all that. Oh, not with him anymore. Well, who knows? But yeah, Ghislaine.
Don't like it.
Isn't that what the boat? Wasn't that what the fucking boat was called? I don't know. We made that up.
Who's been looking at the stars and the moons and the planets and the alignments and Venus
Well, I'm just about to go.
Wait, because I've got something to say. Venus in Uranus is quite nice this time of year.
Sounds inviting. It's been so long. Any port in a storm.
If you're quick, you can get some Venus in Uranus action right now.
Thanks, Max. Think we'd be that? I don't know if we keep up. Well, Joe's all right. Oh, I'll be careful what I say, but yeah. At least they get a puff with Joe, eh?
You got to be careful with these stories, but they have got, again, like the Onion and the thing is, and the whatever, it's the wolf, indigo wolf moon is what made my Magenta Pixie channel on YouTube. She's allegedly a conduit, a reader, a seer, and whatever, so a thought leader of such, and she's definitely stimulated me with, you thought I use words of quantum pass, bibbly babbly boobly. She blew my bloody brain. I was like, this is what I've needed for, I didn't know I needed it, but when you listen to somebody like that, you're like, oh, thank you. It's like the meal that you've been looking for that you couldn't find, like your favourite chocolate bar that suddenly disappeared from the realm, and then you find an outlet with one, and you're like, oh yes. It's been a long time. I was 10 when I last had a bite of that, so it's like a thirst you can't quench, a hit that you can chase that you can't find. Maybe they're better. The moon, the language of, might not be up your street, but the fathers and these Thoths and Hermes and Anu, Bis, Anu Ra, Amun Ra, translations and that, I find it fascinating at this time of life. It might just be me, but stick with. I have more to come. I promised you something this weekend and I delivered it today. I've listened back to it because of the connectivity. I did everything like I'm doing now, but it seems when certain topics are spoke of, they go jittery like that. So I'll take pleasure in redoing it again with you. And
trigger words, mate.
Yeah, indeed it is. Yeah. It's got to be. I've got different handsets and connections and things. I'm not going to give everything away, but I try to be safe and connect securely and privately and everything as lawfully you can do, and everything is backed up and ready to go again and stuff. And I've learned how to connect before it drops now and hold it, and I've got good at it. You've trained me well. Locally embedded agents and glitches and gremlins in the system.
Where you can squeeze in and start pulling wires out. That's the ones you want. Yeah, I'll show you where the glitches are.
I saw the comments.
I've just realised Max. Sorry, I've just realised Max. I thought that's a new name, and then I've just realised who that is. Hello, mate. Hope you're all right. Good to see you. I see Jack earlier. Soon, mate, I'll be down there. I was talking to Jack about that today. Sorry, David.
Sorry, bro. It's all good.
There's a good friend of mine that I know is a really good friend of my son's who's in the room. So I've just realised who it is.
Let's have a look.
Give him a nod.
Nice one. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining. Welcome to the other side of life. Enjoy. Say hello to the fam. Who we saying here? Who is this? What name did you say?
What name did I say?
Yeah, who are you on about? Let me just refresh.
Max G.
Okay, nice to meet you, Max G.
He said we should go on the Joe Rogan experience. He does cover a lot of stuff. Gets some good people on that little thing he does there. Fair play to him. And he'll kick the shit out of you if you push him.
Max has asked a question about what's man's thoughts on coronavirus. Our thoughts are we're a bit apprehensive. We're not scared. We're not panicky. We're not sure what's going on. We see that there's an urgency and a seriousness, and we're here to have a chat about it and get the facts and figures. It's not to speculate or anything like that, accumulate. It's just simply to check in and judging by international standards, comments, World Health Organization, previous health department blunders and failings such as British cow beef fiasco in the 80s. I, for one, am worried. I'm apprehensive. I'm not sure that we've got the right team at the helm. I'm not sure they're making the right decisions. I've asked my daughter and Queen wife, Anna Maria, to not go into work and school, and Yanka's itching to stay home with me and to have some fun and family time. And her mum said, we're going in and seeing, and I said, we don't trust what's going on, and we've got our protection levels at ultra high as best as we can. And I, for one, am expecting it. And we've read some news out from the rags, the paparazzi, the sea of paper rats, and they're loving it. The system is playing to the audience. We are the audience, and the world stage is afoot with the actors acting. 18. It was 1918 when we had roughly 1920 the Spanish influenza, which was the last major threat to human life, pandemics, epidemics, and so forth. So we've had SARS, we've had Ebola, we've had Zika, we've had other type of SARS and swine
Much
flu,
worse.
and we're still here. So I'll end it with that. Are you?
Yeah. Well, Max, personally, look at the figures, as I heard you here a minute ago. Ones I've seen is basically at least 93% survival. The fatality rate for under 50 is 0.03%, and the fatality rate for 50 and over is 3%. It's nothing. I'm not saying, but listen, half of this fear people get in a state that makes anything they do get twice as bad as it would normally be anyway. I don't think it's any particular to worry about for the average person. Unfortunately, it could be something I have to worry about only because of the conditions I've got. Because I do have respiratory conditions. This is one of the problems.
On the back of that, though, I worry about these designer CRISPR things, and we've mapped the human genome. They've got the DNA sequencing. They've got genetically modified. They're into nanotechnology. Lest we not forget, we don't have an open source academic route into DARPA military government technology. It's behind closed doors in private SpaceX corporations. And some Lockheed Martin, thank you, Brain, nice one, Scribe, for putting that back in, and other such contracts, DARPA, Lockheed Martin, we don't get to see, we don't get input, we don't get to decide.
Other weapons manufacturers are available.
We had robots in the field last year shooting. AI was shooting, allegedly. I didn't see it, but there was reports next to the cannabis field that the UK government's growing under license for medicinal reasons that, aren't really, wow, contradiction in terms. Next to that field, we had loads of robots shooting guns at targets after the failings of the robots in the Japanese environment that was reported killing scientists. So we've got technology going off that we're not privy to, that's first weaponized and after it being weaponized is then given to you in the form of bloody Alexa and Siri and whoever else. But first it's trained to monitor, collect, rape, pillage, usurp, put you in the crosshairs, lock you in the targets before they lock you down and usurp you and give you AI to spy on you in the form of ask Alexa these following questions.
Oh
Alexa,
yeah.
who do you work for?
Fuck.
Live and direct now, put it to the test. Alexa, who do you work for? And she will combinedly give you the Amazon details of the corporation that invented her. Then ask her if she works for the government. The response answer from the AI at this moment in time will be, I cannot find the answer that you are looking for. Ask her again, a normal question. Alexa, what time is it? Alexa, and she comes back to life. Alexa, who do you work for? And she'll tell you who invented her. Do you work for the government, Alexa? She can't find that answer. Then you go GCHQ, MI5, NSA, etc., and she shuts off. So
Yeah.
yes, we see you, Tech Milo. Hilarious though. It's a game. It's all a game in the game of life, and you're a chess piece. And we don't know. Are we still at war, Kev? Are we still at war, brother?
That's asked every morning, isn't it, by the Prime Minister?
The
Whoever is
recruiter,
the
the
Prime Minister, I
recruiter
do
of the,
believe, and he's told, yes, we are.
the recruiter of the house, recruiter. Yeah.
I do believe it's something like that.
Hospitals, wards of the state.
Max, it's not anywhere near the flu numbers, nowhere near, and I need to see some ages of the people that are supposedly dying. Have they got underlying conditions added to that age? COPD's massive. If it's respiratory, asthma, bronchitis, emphysema, anything like that. So, we need figures of the reality of it.
Why doesn't Bill Gates and people like Tesla and SpaceX all get in now and say, actually, we see there's a problem here. We've got facilities, resource, and manufacturing capability. I tell you what we'll do. We're going to join forces. We've got the Gates. Let me think then. Lone Scum. We've got the Gates Scum foundation of, and we're going to do something for humanity. And we're going to pool our resources and assist the government and work in partnership, unison, use the unified commercial codes, and you get nothing like that.
It's
Nothing.
just the flu.
But if there was a war, they'd all be roped in. They'd all be roped into Tesla. We need your Mr. Lone Scum. We need your reversible rocket so we can go there, blow them up, reverse it, refill it, blow them up, and use the same one. Things like that happen overnight. That would. But again,
So you've got to realise the people that are dropping down at the moment, they're counting as deaths, would probably be dropping down at this time of year anyway. Thank you, Hogarth, for that, backing me up there. It's this time of year. Listen, I haven't had a flu jab for years, right? And this year, my doctor, it was almost daily. He sent me a text about it at the end, message. I left it a week, and then I was getting one a day, and I thought, I'm definitely, you seem really rather keen for me to have this. I'm definitely having nothing to do with that sort of thing. Not that I would have, but it was just weird how he really seemed to be pushing for it this year. No way. But there's nothing abnormal here. That's the flu jab that they've just put around killed shitloads at the end of last year, didn't it? Like, just from the flu jab, that probably more
wait,
from that.
botched batches of things that should have been taken off the shelf, and that
allegedly.
there was all kinds of things that was brought
So
out.
it's somebody else's fault, and that.
Mercury preservatives in it, mercury-based preservatives, compatible with the human biometric system, rhythms, or genome, or DNA. It's liquid metal. Liquid metal is used for killing of, and technology generally. It's a poison, basically, in the alchemic world, and it's an element that has magical properties in the electromagnetic world. So, as you'll see by plasma and fields of, so it's nothing to do with health, and it should never be used as a form of keeping a product on a shelf for a long time. We say no to that. Yeah.
9.
Let me go to the room here. It's coming up to 1 a.m.
Sorry, I just had a
GMT.
little German moment there.
Achtung, schnell. Das Spieler gegen Sie Tennis?
Das Tisch ist klein.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Here we go. Let's go to the room then. Yeah. Let me scroll up and work down.
Right.
Irish is loving it. Nice one. The vibes are good.
54 grand. Paperwork.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
but 100, there's a load of us though. I mean, there's what, 7 billion, so 100 million's nothing, is it? It's like peas
I did
in a
mention
bag of frozen bird's eye.
I did mention and touch upon Captain Birdseye and Fam about negative interest, and I said, come the day that we have to talk about negative interest, I said, don't be looking at me. I suggest you all look at and research the terminology, the way that the Fed and the Bank of England would, the central banks would then, get in your head. It's easy to say negative interest. Oh, you don't get any money. You pay them money. No, we don't pay them money. But then money doesn't get paid for savings. But at the same time, when you've got borrowing and saving, credit creation, wow, it's a bit of a messy area. So shout going out to S. Fed reduced interest to zero. Yeah, we're going to be seeing some truly unique and interesting, literally, times. We'll go deeper in that when it's not 1 a.m. on a Sunday. All right, fam. Hold tight.
Just going to say to Jerry quickly, yeah, look at the idiots and at the shops. Look at the numbers of idiots at the shops. That shows you the mindset. Say no more. That's what you're up against. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's really sad.
Irish has put something about Indy created such an orgasm that created a mud flood. But I'm just going to pick out the word organ. I researched in the Latin etymology and dictionary that organ was originally a Greek word for Latin Greek origin, both meaning system, organ, organization. So when we see the word in commercial realm again, organization, it's a system at civilization as ization is at ion, a organisation at ion, at man level, at interfacing. It's a random one, but it did intrigue me that we have these organs and organs inside us. We have an instrument that's an organ. You can play an organ. You have an organisation, and organism, and just the word orgasm comes from that as well. It was a weird one because it also coincided. Yeah, I know, it's mad, and it also coincided with the
time of the morning.
with the Taurus and women having a clitoris down there and a Taurus field, and I was like, holy crumbs, Malone! It was one of them biological sciencey Latin trips, but I just thought I'd put that in the mix for you at this time in the morning to mash your toots.
Hogarth, I do believe the Purbrights, Her Majesty, amongst others, but I'm pretty certain that institute, along with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Jesus Christ.
Max has put something on about we should go on Joe Rogan Experience. That would
that's what I was saying.
Be epic. I've just caught up with that. I presume he's seen the Santos one then, where he's blown their minds and kettled the Swedes, mashed the toots in a calm, constructed, eloquent, beautiful, symbolic way that he just took them on a journey, and even the producers and everybody is just like, I was given a few emails saying you need to watch this, Dave. Just sit back and smile. And indeed I did. Well done. Thank you for that comment as well, Max. I've just seen it and I wasn't truly listening when it was mentioned earlier.
I think it may be time for me to step outside of the premises and do some naked yoga in the moonlight.
Oh, now you're talking. That's proper
Yeah.
real talk, that is, Kev.
I think the neighbours are in bed now. No, I don't mind them seeing my
It's not very
tiny,
warm, though. You're going to get a garden eater's on or
old,
something.
flaccid, ancient penis. Sorry.
Ladies, I'm sorry. We're sorry for that mental
Sorry.
image. And men, mental images there. None of us can delete that, Kev. Do you realise what you've done there? You've breached the trust.
It's a bit like Butters. It was in Butters in South Park. I've ever seen him with all the pants down. That's what you get to
Stop,
see with
no,
me.
stop digging. Stop it.
Other cartoons are available with penises in.
It wasn't. Yeah, Family Guy, The Simpsons, oh good Lord, Disney classics. Oh, now you've got me going. Oh, we're
See?
doomed. It's truly the end. Oh, let's go back to the comments. This is immense. We can't say there's a herd immunity because, as I've researched and found, there is no definitive answer out there.
How can we have a...
If you could find it for me now, please post the links and prove me wrong. There is no definitive answer out there that we get an immunity for this. There is also concerning information saying that once infected, it can take an incubation carrier period of up to 20 to 25 days. So I don't understand what truly is being assessed and going on. I'm not a biologist or even a scientist, as we've disclosed to you and others. We just suspect that there's more going on here for something to incubate for that amount of time, and it's doing something. It's not just sat there, like waiting, unless it's programmed. I don't know, unless it's got rules, unless it's got, because then we come aware of, and I've mentioned this before. Oh my days, too many things, but there is a rule of Anders mentioned it, and a Hordle Master on one of them videos, and they explained about the pathogenic side of rules of bacteria, viruses, germs, and things. And there's things that aren't. He said those
Dave.
words weren't mine. There's things that aren't biological and act on program.
Shit.
So we have to find all this out. I'm afraid. Yes. Go on, Kev.
I've got to... I'll be back in a minute.
All right, enjoy, brother. Enjoy. I'll go to the room. So there is no. If he's just spilt something, he's going to blame that on me. I'm bracing for impact of a spilt drink, and he's going to be, Dave, that's you. Cursed me.
I should be back.
Oh, you're still here? I thought you'd gone.
Yeah. No, I was just... come on. Right, I'm just going to kill the mic a minute. I've got to sort the dogs out. 1 sec. I'll be back again.
All right. Yeah, herd immunity is them controlling the containment and the phases that they've said that they're going into. It was containment in the beginning, and then it was the subsequent other ones that they've announced through the teams that I've given you links for at the beginning of the video. You appreciate the effect that it can only have if there is an immunity obtainable to this. So I can't find a story saying that there is immunity, that they're saying people recover and then they're saying they get reinfected. They're saying 80% of the UK general public will be affected by this, and how many millions, and over so many months. So it's very contrived and not very unified. We haven't all agreed. We're being told and instructed, and we have got trustees and the principals leading the realm with these so-called scientific professors, experts, councils, teams, management, appointed ones that are there in a business management capacity, status, standing, all right, there commercially, under an agreement that we haven't put there, that's been done by proxy. So we're all in the same proverbial boat, and we are being fed, as we have seen, through media channels, which is not open source. It's not as great and as reliable and dependable. It has mixed messages. So yeah, it's just another time to see how we rely, and that we don't have like the law and the representation and the referencing to common law and the enforcement to equity trust and whatnot, breaches of rights, we have to use the Roman court system. So with health, we have to use the other trust, which is the National Health Trust. We have a police force trust, which is a separate trust to the National Health. We have the Fire Brigade Trust. We have the Council Trust, we have the DWP Trust. So there's a lot of trusts here, all operating in harmony with others. Well, disharmony, as resonance,
They're
dissonance,
all
but
being
yeah,
breached.
yeah. And this National Health of England and the NHS of England, National Health. Be careful here, not United Kingdom. England and Wales Trust is responsible. Public health is responsible. The ministerial departments are responsible, and everything's run past the Queen. So, you know, uh, we've seen that they've misaligned stuff before. I'll stop referencing years and times and dates and things, but we just hope and pray, faith. Equity doesn't aid a volunteer. If someone asks you or volunteers of something of you, I would say that this rule is not just a rule for law and the judicial realm. If somebody wants something of you, now you use this into your own interpretation. If you come across someone that's in need and that's a victim and will suffer if you do not suffer, but will be worse off if you don't help them, then you help them if you can. It says in the great books and scriptures, if there's a traveller ever and they ask you for food and shelter, you must always, in every continent, in every book, the traveller must be fed and watered and sheltered, because it might be one of the Elohims on the travels, as they were personified as man. So we share an equal threat where we want to help, but sometimes those that we help often bites the hand that feeds them. So I apologise for this. You try to help somebody and they rob you. Typical story is common, yeah, Kev?
Oh, look, Mum's turned up, having a shout at us about bedtime again.
Sister Lisa.
Lisa. Evening.
What? Where's she been? She's late. Get out, you're late, you're
Oh,
barred.
she's been out at the
No,
watching.
we've been on, 5 hours and she's just found us. What excuse has she got? It better be good, Lisa. It better be
I
a
was going
good
to say
one.
dog racing. It's not that. It's like the Iditarod and all that. I've been watching.
She's been watching Fox News, biting her nails intensively, and she's just come out of a paranoid loop, like, and realised the sanity at the end of the screen. Hello, sister, welcome.
Yeah, we are up late again. We did. What was it? What did we do?
111. Thank you.
Friday. Oh yeah, so it is.
Lisa enters on the
111.
Lisa, notice you enter on them numbers. I don't know if that's by accident or divinity, but 111's my
Fair
sacred,
play.
and she enters
All
in
the
on
ones,
there.
and there's a few in there. Fair kick. Get them in.
Spanish flu epidemic. Thank you, Hogarth. That's what Kev said. Thank you for before then. Any information realm wide, we're a team. This is a trust here because there's no paperwork or court, but we'll work on the trust of what we have. You're all going to play your part, and some of us, will benefit from that. We trust that you are honourable and conscionable, but we're in the beginning for the UK, for England, for Anglo-Saxon, etc. We are in the beginning of this. Other parts, Europe is now, they say, the epicentre. China, Korea, Japan are dealing with it in their own ways. So commendable, I'd say. There are some commendable reports coming out. There doesn't seem to be a lot of media, Facebooky, Twitter, Instagram, independent reports. In the beginning, there was some videos of China and the way that they were ragging them out of houses and kicking them into cars. I thought, that's a bit vexatious at the very least to man. There's ways and means. I thought, is that the communism in its panic state, or is that somebody just filming something to put on somewhere to make it look like? Because we don't always believe everything. Just because it's a video and it looks real doesn't mean to say it's not a set-up scam, intimidation, panic, fear. So we have to be careful, like the ones that you help that rob you, the ones that say, here, look what I've got, you might want to see this. They're just there to instigate they're the ones that like the blue touch paper and just stand back and watch the firework display unfold, yeah? Shitbags, aka. Sorry.
What Quinn wants me to explain. That's getting it. The cult of Kelvin. Well, yeah, that's Dave's seed. He appears. It's obviously now he's planted.
Well, there's Clevin and there's Kelvin. I did Kelvin, and somebody put in Clevin. I think it might have
That's
been
right, yeah.
your man Jerry there. We had a chat about the solar Chronos crown Latin video, Quinn, and in that detailed data about how in a eclipse solar luminary crown Chronos etc. diamond scarab beetle is found. Kelvins are mentioned in the disruption of the light rays and plasma radiation coming around objects and to the planet through the fields of. So I can't remember all of it. That's loosely. And Kelvin, and I was like, Kevin, dyslexia, Kelvin, shine star. That'll do. And there it blossomed.
Sorry, just seeing if any other beasts want to come and keep me company, but they've all
Have you
given
got
me the
naked
middle
yet in the
finger.
garden? Is that why you went off?
Yeah, I'm out there now.
Have you got mankini on? Is it full birthday suit we're talking here or what?
I'm just doing downward dog. Got a little candle in my house. See what I'm doing? Got a bit of light out here.
I'm going to fill my pants with custard. It feels like an episode of Bottom on Acid. Oh my days.
Yeah, nobody bothers taking photos.
There's a drone
Never get any
above.
complaints.
There's a drone above. Moonlight yoga with Kev. Naked. By. How did we come across this? Is this something you do regular? Was it who taught you this? Where did you pick this up from?
I can't reveal the name of my master, I'm afraid. It's against the code.
All right then. Dave, thank you for the link. Going back to reality for those that need it. Here is some info.
Some seconds.
Oof. Gotta run, stay safe. S has legged it. I don't think that's the sight of you in the moonlight, but yeah, came on as by the light of the silvery moon. We saw the whole of Kev's moon. You saw the whole of the moon. Kev's actually decontaminating using the moonlight.
I'm moon washing. So I'm going to start a new craze called moon washing. Stand naked out in the middle of your garden and the moon's out and pretend to wash yourself. It's brilliant. It's going to be massive. We're going to be millionaires.
I've lost. I don't know what's going on. I daren't speak in case I incriminate myself.
Too late for that, mate.
Guilty by
Too late to back out now.
Guilty by association. That's
Yeah.
it.
They may brainwash me
So yes, it's been
because this guy I know on another channel worked out that Dave was something to do with CIA in Washington. Remember that with Davis back in that?
Oh yeah, we've had that. We've all put.
Oh
notices
mate, I
out.
did laugh over that. And, oh my god.
Locally embedded agent. Yes, we had
Yeah.
Quatalou's putting claims out.
Oh yeah, I've not really looked at them much.
The internet is a sea, much like the universe, the consciousness. Did anybody see my chaos video earlier with the story that come out of Egypt's dynasty from 3000 BC? They've picked that up from somewhere else. That's not that's a very accurate layered analogy depiction, comparable story. The actual story in itself, I'm fascinated with. It's one of my all-time favourite finds, and I thought I'll bring that out in a time that chaos and order. I likened them to myself and my inner self, the one that's the renegade and the one that knows better, the voice that says, you fucked up again, aren't you? And you, we all have it. You have that other side, and these are stories of the I and the I going out and legging it to find the children, and then him having to have one eye, and then making that eye, and the one eye being female and the male. It's just got so many, intrinsic, beautiful. I know it's not original creation like we found in the epic Genesis of Enuma Elish. The Gilgamesh is a battle, different thing, King's List and that. So it's just, I thought it's one of my favourite all times. If I ever had to make a play or something, I'd make that. I would, and I'd take delight in doing it. Egyptians and
I've got
Egypt.
Calvin now.
Kevin, yeah, he's Roland right. He should be, yeah, Kevin. Or Fast Show. Yes, Miss Person. Sorry, Miss Person. Yeah,
No, that was
Kevin.
Perry.
Perry, cats and pets, and whatever. Oh, what else did we have now? What you talking about, Phillips? From back in the day. We will.
Different strokes, I think.
Yeah, we will do a video entitled "What You Talking About, Phillips," and give him his own full 2 hours to rant about such things as.
Oh, don't get me doing that. I won't stop. Yeah. Cheers, Jerry, mate. It's like Jerry's had enough. We've managed to get him to go to sleep.
It is late, yeah, 1:15.
In a good way.
Yeah. Yeah, good. That's what it's all about, interaction. We're here. I've got a lot of admin to do. I've got a lot of forums to create. I've got a lot of data, land sharing, communities, common unity, land, lots of developments and projects, and going green. I know it's not the right time, but I'm going to take this week to develop and utilise some areas, and come back and update you all on what we've got. Yeah.
Don't break yourself just because you got a week off.
No, I'm not going to break myself.
Because it could turn into 4 months, mate.
No, well, yeah, we'll definitely be needing some credits then, won't we?
I don't know about for people of our age, although I am in the...
people of our age,
bracket,
oh no.
In the bracket of the over 50s, I'm in the 3%.
We're protected. We're blessed. Blessed be. I know that. The things that have happened to me of late, it's been truly of the last year, some truly coincidental moments to give thanks and say, do you know what, that could have easily been a nightmare. Do you know what, that could have easily, and the amount of times I've said, where I've been in Germany, Hungary, through places and needing fuel, and I've had a lot of times where I've prayed and said, if you're watching, you got to help very soon, because there may be a problem, and I've ended up getting out of it often. So you should all be feeling that same bit now, and for the next duration of this is a cyclical system change. We've seen it come in. They're not going to come out and say, do you know what, you're all right, we have bonded you, the bills of exchange, indemnity, transfer by discharge, yes, you've caught us out, we have blood and deception and guilt running, yes, we all need to be hung and locked up and quartered, and we've caused and are guilty by no, the revolution will not be televised. What will be televised is the reconfiguration and the orchestration of the nations for the emancipation of the accumulation and the repatronization. I don't know what's going to happen. A lot of systems, we found quantum science first.
A lot of shuns in there.
It went well, didn't it? That I'm happy. Sometimes MCing it's like a lyrical song sheet life now, speaking and bars and rhymes and balance and energies and sexes, and it becomes, I don't know. It's but What was I on about then? Where was I going with that? It's just left me,
I don't
Kev.
know, you weirdo.
It's just
Get a
left me.
grip.
Emancipation of the nation for the accumulation, yeah. I remember that bit, but I just can't remember where I was going with the point of.
I'll come back to you in the long goodbye.
That's now. Yeah, that's happening now.
Oh dear. Infamous. Yeah, I was just about to go down that road, Jerry, as you can imagine, but I'll leave it, mate. That's no problem. Oh, like a bit more information to be needed, but fair play to you. Good luck. I've forgotten what one looks like. The opposite one to mine, anyway. Well, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get ready to wrap up, fam. It is late, and we need to be fresh
Yeah,
and awake and alert and ready for our families, for others, and yeah, I am a night owl.
Monday morning.
Yeah. This is the great first day under the belt for me, and on to the second for tomorrow. And
Pace yourself, mate.
watching the circus, yes, watching the media circus.
I know what you like. Yeah, I don't even bother. They give them the time of day.
We're blessed. That's what I was saying before, and I was giving thanks about good coincidences. So you should all be seeing signs now. If you are awake, if you are truly conscionable, and you do want to connect with what has been called God. I am not preaching, and I am not telling you how, but I'll tell you how it works for me. Like the spilling of the water. And you will get slaps in the face. You don't see them straight away. It takes a while, and when you see them, it's a bit scary. When it sinks in, you're like, "What? That means it's real. What Dave's been on about is this." Then when you find this, that, it. Um, don't be ringing me, messaging me. You go on your own journey and come back. You have the Santos for the syncretism and the chronos and the variance of. All I'm telling you is it's real. And there's an element of protection. Call it coincidence if you like, call it faith, call it what you want, but there is a non-Christian, I can say this, there is a non-Christian, because I didn't find it through Christianity, I found it through numbers, shapes, phi, pi, golden ratio, faith, prayer, non-tangible, metaphysical avenues of exploration. And once your intent is right and the greed and the ego is gone, I suppose by doing videos I proclaim to the universe my intent. Only I and the creator really know my intent. You don't know. You go on the trust and the faith. So you go on to a journey, and once you're on that journey, it gets faster and stronger and more important and magical, scary, not fair, but fun and exciting. Kev, can you back me up?
No,
All
not
right,
talking about.
bastard.
Lots of it out there.
No, man's
What's
looking.
going on?
Man's looking for answers in these times, and a lot of them, and definitive. And some of the answers, like we said, with yourself and how you are, and there's a new clarity coming, a new clear vision, and yes, the system will never come out and tell you that we're crooks and we've robbed and usurped you, and under God we are demons. No, they won't. But what they will do is reset the system so they can benefit, keep it, the profits as they are, and then start again afresh as if it was just an accident, like a plague of locusts coming over Africa, eating 80% of the crops that they need to survive. We've got a plague of pestilence and misery and sorrow and blackness. The first of the four horsemen may have arrived, the return of Jesus Christ in the form of trust, consciousness, conscionability, clean hands doctrine, and Babylon crumbling. Not for me to say, but if I was a preacher, I wouldn't be struggling for material to prove my point.
Struggling for material.
And I don't think any of it's got anything to do with Christianity and the predictions of. I think that the same people that wrote that book are in power now, and they're acting it out. Yeah. That's your bloodlines, and you continue them and your lineage, and one of the
Well,
Jesuits.
they've got to keep making, adding to the story, haven't they?
They say, "Oh yes,
It goes on.
these prophecies," and I've even uttered these words like Santos getting the mixture. Us as speakers, thought leaders, initiates, masters, scholars. We haven't got a book. We haven't got an army of councils of men to say yes, yes, no, no, don't do that. No, that's good. Like a council of a steering wheel committee, a board of. So we make errors and blunders, and it's like many a thing we've had to go back and readdress and lead and readjust. And when that new information comes, it's quite a quandary on how you manage and deal with it. So there's been a lot we give thanks for the channels themselves and the links and
Yeah, it's all come a long way. It's surprising just how far. So especially when the trust and equity was revealed unto us, and I don't mean us as in you,
yeah,
David, because it was you and Andy that we were grasping it from. That's where we saw where you were coming from. So, but yeah, and then slowly but surely, I remember all the sort of not piss take, the normal crap that goes on.
yeah.
Slowly but surely, all the people that used to take the piss, it's really funny. Every single one of them, trust and equity. It's really, really strange.
It's the return of the, no way. He didn't say what he said, did he? It's like sounds like an Eminem lyric there coming up, but yep. This looks like a job for me. Now everybody come follow us because we need a little controversy, and it would be so empty without me, thee. You've all joined the journey, so. The return of Christ is the return of the creditor, the return of David, and not Jeremy, to the private, the public, the liability, the crucifixion. It's
Return of man to the
just
land.
madness, the power, the armor of God, the KJV, it being written in the Bible, encoded in many and different forms, and yeah, it's the magic
I
bullet.
don't want, I don't want to, as I say, that's, in lots of ways I've thought about it, I see it as a metaphor for man realising who he is and returning to the land rather than it being.
When I heard Bob Marley, all right, there came on. Let's just reggae it up then. Jah Rastafari and I. It's gonna get ital and vital now. Let me tell you. Rasta man. When I heard old pirates, yes, they rabbi, and something the merchant ships to the bottomless pit, I went, holy shit, that's the birth certificate
So
bond.
I.
You telling me about this is what they've done, but in a metaphorical sense, yes. And I looked at the Bob Marley lyrics a bit deeper then. At the age of past rave and weed smoking party phase and mid 30s, and emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but yourselves can free your mind is a clear message again. Wow. Yeah. No wonder his music did well. It's got a subconscious weed. Those that love Bob Marley and the music, not just for the reggae, and the tempo and the relaxing. Immediately, that music, whether you know of Bob or you like him, it can't vexate. I can't see many men, whoa man, getting vexated one by Bob, going, I bloody hate Bob. Turn it off. I'm gonna lose it if you don't turn off this shit. Bob's very not much hated. And so the lyrical content, I think our subconscious and soul, when they say it's soul music, your immediate perspective on that music is not like me for 20 years, not knowing the music, the message in the music, but listening to it, hearing it, singing the words, but it not truly penetrating the layers of my onion to the heart of my onion soul. Yeah. So then when you get older and it does penetrate, you have another like cold as ice moment where one, you go, idiot. Two, you go, shit. And three, you go, what we're going to do about it. And it's quite a moment when a track you've listened to or DJ'd with or had sex to, whatever the moments are, personal, private and meaningful, and then you have a moment where you go, whoa, because you feel you that's you being somebody new. That's your consciousness. That's the penny dropping, the consciousness expanding, and then moments you then start to hunt for them. They become an addiction. Those are old moments, because every time you get one, you get a little bit stronger, if you've noticed. Yeah, you do. So that guilt and that sadness and that, what, I've done that for 25 years. I've DJ'd New Order, Blue Monday, and I didn't hear the boat in the harbour and blah, and the messages in that music, that subterranean beat, and I've DJ'd it many a time. And then the day when I heard them true lyrics, I went, wow, how does it happen, Kev? Fam.
Oh, messages are sometimes delivered at the right time and only at the right time.
It's
Sometimes
incredible.
you're just not ready for it. There you go. Next question, please.
No, we're shutting down. I was just reading comments.
No, that's not. Yes, I'm just going back to the kitchen. No, I'm gonna. Yes, let's wind it down, mate, because it's getting on a Monday morning.
The revolution will be live. Quinn's in the spirit. I do like that, Quinn. Yes, I respect all the comments. Lisa, thank you. Love and light to all. Phone call.
Yeah, Lisa's.
If you go to sleep and you are trying to get to sleep,
She's having.
Right.
She was waiting for delivery of snow, I think. That's what the phone call is.
If you are trying to get to sleep and you've got Bob Marley songs going through your head, welcome. You will all be connected then with the reggae beats as we find the binaural beats. Sorry, and yeah, I'll see you in a bit.
I'll be cranking some music in a minute for at least half hour or so. In my headphones, of course.
Jedi Order with the Wookiee weed at the temple. Came on, gets the quote, the comment of the night, of the cast, of the hours, is going to came on then for that Red Eye Jedi Order with some Wookiee weed at the temple of Buddha.
Return of the Red Eye.
Red Eye at the temple of Buddha. I've modified it a bit, came on. It's still yours. We like that. Colour is a feeling. I did put on a Rastafari voice. If you are Jamaican, Rastafari, Trinidad, Tobago origin, and you want to know why white man put on the voice like that, it's because it's a feeling. I have been called the blackest white man, believe it or not, when I've DJ'd and I've been asked to put on, different styles of music, and I've had a collective artillery. Basically, you have to, when you're white and somebody of a darker skinned fam comes on and asks you to play their music, is a little bit of pressure. Normally you're already the centerpiece. That's enough, but let alone being abroad and having to perform satisfactorily to East London, massive, coming out on a reggae sunsplash is what it was in Zante, and yeah, man, I got called the blackest.
You were all spangled.
The blackest white man ever, and you can get on with any family if you just give them consideration and time and a bit of love, and compassion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It really is. There's a massive, excellent, loving family of love and good out there. Aside the politics and the pigeonholing and the dresses and the whatever it is, religions. Strap in for the ride, Anglo-Saxon Britain, equivalent citizens of was, man and blood of the realm, beneficiary of the land. Strap in for the roller coaster of 2020. Go on, Kev.
Landlubbers. That's all I said. I thought shit word in there. And then actually I gently attacked my cat.
We didn't touch upon inoculations from the academy. That will be a later one this week. There is a writing in the book. It says the life is in the blood. The blood is the youth and the young stars and our generations, our property, our sired assets. Our 40 years, 50 years on this realm, we've had a good innings, all right? I'm not saying there's a sacrificial moment coming here, no, fam, but remember the lesson of why we're here, what we do. Bottom line, it's not for me, it's not for Kev, it's not for Quinn or Jerry or any. It is in a way, but we all have blood, we have assets, we have a desire to keep them safe and to make sure this realm, if we was to not be here tomorrow, would be sufficient enough to ensure their right to live, and they could live right, and that's it. That's the bottom line. So there's no state animosity, military officer, anything. It's just a safe collective consciousness of what go on, and if it's needing us to intervene in any way with authority, then we could, perhaps do so to the academy, to the street, as a trustee, any and which way we are available to help each one another, sharing of information, backing each other up, and when the time comes, you will know what you need to do. You will see it, and if you have to think about it, then perhaps you'll need more time, but those that will see it will do it. Like in that story, I loved it when he says, I'm not going to say all the names. If you haven't seen the video I did today, then he says he creates Thoth to find. He creates a deity, and it's called Thoth, to find another eye, Amun Ra. And Thoth, upon his creation, in this depiction and translation, it doesn't need to be spoken to by the creator at the time. In the new, he gets off, as soon as he's created, Thoth gets off on his job and knows what his mission is. And that's us in a way, your intuitiveness, what you see, and how you see it. If it doesn't look right and it doesn't feel right, then it isn't right. Yeah.
Yes, fair comment.
We're done, my man. 20-2.
Oh, come on, oh, that's me. I'm out of here.
Thank you, fam.
Mofos.
Kev's fading. I've done.
Because I'm not going to be asleep for another hour and 40 at least. I know I'm not, so.
It's been fun, random.
And the thing is, I'm up for cracking on, but no, not on a Monday morning.
Let's go then. We'll end the cast now. Thank you, much love.
Love to everybody. Thanks very much for joining us. Hope you had a bit of a giggle or picked something up from the nonsense. Have a great week. Be safe. Be well. Keep us informed if anybody has any developments. You know we are. Big love to you all. Peace.
Yes. Stay loving. Stay sovereign. Self-governing. Safe in any way which you see fit, and for your blood. And we thank you for your time, for your comments, for your thumbs up, for your shares, etc. And we'll be back midweek, maybe. We'll see. All right. Thank you and much love.